Let's move on. If you separate your body and calmly be present in your unbound conscious self, then you'll be immediately happy, peaceful, and unshackled, which means your intrinsic nature is similar to clay. There are continuous changes happening within the clay. The form of the clay changes even at the slightest pressure from your hand. This change is known as death, and this change is also called birth. This is both death and birth. They are no different. As soon as a minor change occurred in that form, then the existing form died and a new form was born. Both of these events happened together. At that fraction of a second when one form is dying, the other form is being born. This is what life and death is. So, when you see those forms, you'll see death and you'll see birth. But if you only look at the clay, is there any birth or death happening there? No. This is how you remain calm. There's no other way. Calmly be present in your unbound conscious self. What does this mean? What does unbound conscious self mean? Sound of silence. What will people make out of it? What will you understand out of it? Do nothing. Be calm and listen to the sound of silence. What will that lead to? This is a mistake which people have committed in the past. So what does calmly be present in your unbound conscious self mean? Does it mean you don't need to do anything? Is he suggesting to King Janak to leave his kingdom? Is he asking him to sit with him in his cave and listen to the sound of silence? No. Be present means to be equanimous. Physically, you can't be present in something because physically everything is continuously changing. How can you be equanimous? You can be present in something only when that thing itself is not changing. Where can this happen? Can you be present in the feelings? Can your feelings remain constant all the time? Do try. Good feelings are followed by a bad one, and then a good one, and this cycle continues. At times, everything feels bad, and at other times, everything looks good. At times, your mood is good, and at times, it is bad. Try to hold on to a single emotion. For example, I will always be good to a person. I will always think positively of him. Not possible. There will be conflicts. We can't be in or hold on to feelings. Try to hold on to your body or health. Say, I'll always be healthy. There can't be a trap bigger than this. Try staying healthy all the time. Impossible. There are a lot of things which are not under your control. Right now, there was this mosquito sitting on my hand. Do you know what was inside it? Or what has been injected within and what might happen because of that? Who knows? Try to hold on to your thoughts. Where only one thought constantly remains on your mind. A god? Try any name. Impossible. You're praying and suddenly a person whom you dislike appears. At that point, will you remember his name or the god? Of course, that person, and it is but natural. How to be present? You can be present only in something which itself is stable. And what is stable in this entire world? Everything is being born, getting destroyed, and ever changing. Change is what birth and death is. You can be present only in something which itself is changeless or stable. And that too at a level where there's a possibility of being stable. It's not possible at the level of body, feelings and thoughts. So where is it possible? Understanding. You can be stable there. I am. Is there any doubt about it? Can someone question it? I am not talking about being a Hindu or a Muslim or being good or bad. I am. Can any person come up and say, I'm not? If he's saying that, then ask him, who is saying I'm not? Only the person who is can say I'm not. What is this? An understanding. There's no doubt that I am. My being is what consciousness is. When you add so many different things to this being, it becomes the world. I'm tall. I'm short. I'm good. I'm bad. I'm a guy. I'm a girl. I'm an Indian. I'm a Pakistani. All the conflicts lie there. There's no conflict with I am. There is no way to change this understanding. It is conclusive. There's no doubt that you are. I can never put a question mark on this. You can put a question mark on what you see, because when you see it through a different instrument or from a different perspective, you might see something else. But whatever the instrument be, you can't put a question mark on the fact that you're seeing something. And what you see is only because of some material cause that is visible. Something is definitely there. So, after going through all those queries, you've reached the conclusion that whatever is visible and whoever is seeing, the reason behind both of them, that is, their material, their source is one and the same, the sound of silence. You can be constantly present with something only which is stable itself. And what else is stable other than this? When you understand this, then you're not the one who listens. You are that itself. You don't need to be detached from something. You are already detached. If you try to think about basic stuff like sadness in our lives and its cause, it happens because you attach yourself at a thinking level. You become something else. Who is sad? A father, a son, a husband, a wife, a friend. Who are these? People who are attached to one thing or the other. Can a man or a woman be sad? No. Father is sad. But is the man sad because of it? No. In reality, they aren't connected, but we feel that they're connected, and that's why we're sad. Similarly, in reality, you aren't connected to this body. Your I am isn't attached to this body. If you aren't bound at all, what will you liberate from? In reality, you are liberated. It's not an illusion. It's a fact. Is there a need to liberate the sound of silence, or is it already liberated? Did you make it, or was it already present? So we have actually discovered it, rather than make it. Just like the law of gravity wasn't made by someone. It was discovered as it was already there. What you actually are, that is the self. Meaning, this body isn't actually the self. For the slightest of a doubt, if you say, I am this hand, then cut off this hand and you'll find that I am is still there. I am seeing. Then remove the eyes, but you're still there. I am doesn't go anywhere. So I, who is a witness, means he who always is. The sound of silence stays forever. It was before this body was here, and it will be long after this body is gone. Bodies form and die. There are bodies of animals, plants, and humans. They evolve over time as per their needs. It changes over time. As per the changes, the witness which was, is, and will be sees something. Whatever is seen through these different forms, recording happens accordingly. How can it be different? Whatever is fed in a bat's memory corresponds to what it sees. Whatever is seen is fed. The nature of seeing doesn't change. Instruments of seeing take birth and die. We are under a misconception. The misconception is, I'm only limited to this body. That is the root of all problems. That is what ignorance is. Since I do not know what I am, that's why I think of myself as this body. Traditionally, a person is told that he is not this body. When he asks, then who am I? He is asked to search or to seek. The search begins, and only a few out of millions find that there is actually such a reality. I am doesn't die. Thoughts come and pass by. All of this changes as per the instrument, depending on the impressions stored in our mind, also known as thoughts or feelings. Everything changes, but I am doesn't change. It is where it was. It doesn't get old. No one feels that he's old. When he looks into the mirror, that's when he sees the changes. But he himself isn't feeling that. The witness remains the same as it was. At times, it is going through good feelings, and at times through bad ones. But the witness doesn't change. So traditionally, a search started. But this is madness, because you won't find it by searching, but by stopping. We need to find such a reality which isn't changing, like I am, who is actually a witness. So if someone finds this reality, which is called the sound of silence, he can solve this entire puzzle. It won't take long for him to understand that his I am is based on the sound of silence. The sound of silence is the consciousness itself. Sat, Chit, Anand aren't three different things. Sat is Chit and Chit is Sat. Sat meaning that which was, is and will be, one which is beyond time. So we need to find a reality which can't be affected by time. Time can alter forms, but it can't harm the formless. It can kill which is born. A form is born. Time can kill it. How will it kill the formless? Such a reality has to be searched for which hasn't been touched by anything. One which isn't attached to this body at all. The sound of silence isn't attached to your body or any other body. It is one with all and detached from all. Remarkable, isn't it? How does our mind think? I'm either with him or without him. It can't think otherwise. Separate your body and calmly be present in your unbound conscious self, which means that you should stabilize your understanding and connect it to your unbound conscious self. This is what Sthit Pragya is. Pragya means supreme knowledge, because any other knowledge can be dismantled. As science evolves, it'll contradict things which it says today. It's bound to happen, because you can't say anything about this creation. As soon as the point of view changes, the reality will change. That's why you can't say anything about this creation, as it is just a point of view. Calmly be present in your unbound conscious self, meaning your understanding becomes one with it. What's there to fear now? What should I fear if I am the sound of silence? If I am this body, then there's a lot of fear, since the body will feel pain because of those who you love. But all of this sadness, happiness, pleasure, pain is the body's taking. Now if this body dies or the other, how does it matter when both of them are already dead? There's no way to kill something which is alive. The witness is alive. There's no way to kill the witness. There is no way to kill the sound of silence. And there's no way to save the body. But if you're still doing something wrong with someone, then you've not understood this at all. If you commit wrongdoings after listening to this because you think that it doesn't matter at all and you can do whatever you want, it means that you haven't understood what these instruments are made of. What is their material cause? Inside what are all of these? What is the substratum? Of course, it is the sound of silence, because for any change to happen, there has to be something which isn't changing at all. Are waves different from water? They are also made of water. The the bubbles also are made of water. When you understand this perfectly, then you won't do anything wrong with anyone, even if you'd want to. But if, for the benefit of everyone, you have to do something wrong, you won't step back. Be at peace even during a violent situation. Be at peace even when you love someone. Be completely fearless. You got attached. That's fine. Be untroubled even when you separate. When conditions change, there will be separation. Be untroubled even during that process. You can be untroubled only when you are at peace. If you aren't at peace, then there's no way to be at peace. So, who am I in reality? I am at peace. I am liberated in reality. I am happy. You don't need to be happy. Need to be at peace. Need to be unshackled. Because if you are in shackles, there's no way to get out of it. I am unshackled in reality. I am untouched in reality. I don't need to be infinite, because I am infinite. So I don't need happiness, because he who is infinite is already happy. One who is finite is in grief. One who is infinite is fearless. If you understand that you are the sound of silence, then there's nothing else to do. This is what being stable is. What you need to do is, now that the truth is in front of you, you don't need to go somewhere to search for it or do anything. You just need to sit back, listen, and understand. And whatever you understand, keep on looking. When you see it yourself, you will be sure about it. Doesn't matter if you have eyes or not. Your I am doesn't die. Whatever has been recorded by the eyes, even if you are watching it or not, your I am never dies. I am catches some sound by ears, or whatever recording has happened by the ears. It latches onto that. It processes those words to images which are known as thoughts. But even when all of this is not happening, you are still there. When you're in deep sleep, aloof from everything, you are still there. When someone calls out to you, you wake up, which means that you were there. You were conscious. But there can be a situation when someone called out to you, but you didn't wake up from the deep sleep. Like when someone is in a coma, or when you have been administered anesthesia. What happens then? Then this instrument has been loaded with such chemicals which blocked those nerves through which the sound was supposed to travel. To whom are all of these changes happening? Is it happening to the witness, or the one who understands, or the body through which it is being understood? Whatever good or bad happens, it happens to the body. Why does it happen? On its own accord. Because of the laws of nature. And when we don't understand this concept, we add our own imagination to it. A child was born with a deformity. People didn't understand what happened, and hence they went and asked the so-called priests, saints, and others, people who are respected a lot. Common people don't use their own logic and believe that these are the only learned ones. Now, whatever they say is being heard and followed blindly. Only a few out of millions are genuine. Everyone else is a fraud. One can't become knowledgeable by just wearing some cloth. One doesn't become a seer by simply calling himself one. So people went to him and asked him about the deformed child. What did I do? It's not your karma. It's because of his karma from his previous lives that he has been born with a deformity. People accepted it. So much of such filth has been poured into common people that I don't know how much you are actually listening to what I'm saying. Last life, forthcoming life, my old karma. Who is this me? No one asks. Whose karma? The witness? He didn't do any karma at all. So, the body's karma. The body is innocent. The way this body was made, it acted accordingly. How is the body at fault here? People didn't understand, so stories were made. People are now living in these stories because that's where their fun lies. Who wants the truth? Stories are like, you must have done some bad karma in your previous life. Hence, you got a family like this. That's why you were born into a poor family. What's the reason for whatever bad is happening to you? No one is realizing why this is happening. No one wants to invest in understanding or in explaining it to someone else. So let's look at what actually happened. If someone is born with a deformity, is it because of the child or his parents? Since the parents didn't give him the polio drops at the right time, that's why the child is suffering from polio. That's why his body is deformed. So whose bad karma is it? The child's or the parents'? Obviously the parents'. If the parents were ignorant, or if that medicine wasn't available at the time, they didn't give it to the child. But today, the medicine is available. While watching TV, the parents saw that polio drops have to be administered to the child as soon as it is born, but still avoided it, thinking, how does it matter? And now their child is suffering from polio. What is the priest saying? The child might have done some bad karma, whereas in reality, the parents have done the bad karma. Truth is simple and straightforward, without any stories or further questioning. The truth is that if you realize the nature of your unbound conscious self, then you'll be immediately happy and peaceful.